It is, again, Wednesday, March 15th. This time it is 6:14, and this is the Minnesota Education Finance Committee that I am calling to order. First on our docket is Senate File 2399, Senator Wiklund. Welcome to our committee. And Senator Farnsworth, would you please make a motion for Senate File 2399 to be laid over for possible inclusion? Just checking to see if you're paying attention, man. Senator, thank you. Would you please go ahead and do that?
What you said.
Okay. Go ahead, Senator Wiklund, with your explain your bill to us, and then I see you have a couple of testifiers that we'll talk to.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for allowing me to present Senate File 2399 tonight in your committee. I'm pleased to present this bill to create a new department which would complement and coordinate our work to strengthen our state system supporting children, youth, and families. The proposal before you today is the result of years of work and represents a path to implement a vision that state government can do so much better for our kids and youth. Just to go back, highlights over time, in 2011, a legislative task force recommended a department focused on early childhood. I carried a bill in 2013-14 biennium that would have established a department of early childhood. Since that time, there have been several different bills to create similar agencies. And finally, last year's legislatively mandated governance report laid out a series of options our state could take to better consolidate the maze of fractured programs that serve young children, youth, and families. The process laid out in this bill is carefully planned and is the culmination of countless hours of deliberative processes. It has considered what programs to transition in a way that best serves kids and their families. As we consider big investments in early care and learning, this bill will help ensure crucial consolidation and alignment of those programs. And it's specifically related to the jurisdiction of your committee, Madam Chair and members. This bill would move the Early Learning Services Division and the After School Community Learning Grant Program into a new department to join most of the programs currently housing DHS's Children and Family Services. For years, MDE has administered a variety of critical early learning programs for young kids not yet in kindergarten, from early learning scholarships to Head Start, various pre-K programs. This Early Learning Services Division and these programs have grown in recent years as we have learned so much more about the brain science of human development and how critical it is that we are helping ensure our youngest children receive high-quality care and learning. At the same time, DHS has continued to administer the Child Care Assistance Program under the Child Care Development Block Grant. All these programs are complementary with each other, with one another, and this bifurcation between agencies has not made sense for families, teachers, or providers on the ground. It's also important to highlight that while the bulk of the new department will focus on our youngest kids, there will also be many programs serving our older youth as well. That includes programs from DHS and public safety, but also the after-school community learning grant program from MDE that the governor has proposed new investments in. And Senator Oumou Verbeten has a bill to better fund as well. In all, this new department will take a holistic approach to children and families and help fill in gaps where the structural silos of current state government have prevented a focused effort to address racial and other inequities in the services for children and families. And Madam Chair, I have an amendment that I can describe, and if you'd like to take that up at this time, or
That would be wonderful if you would let us know the amendment and then maybe explain it just for a minute.
Yeah, it's the A1 amendment, and is that in your packets? Do you know?
No, I don't have the A1 amendment.
Does council have it? It was, if it's not available, I guess then we had a,
Maybe you could explain it to us?
I can. Yeah. Although it's got several different components to it, so I don't know if it's going to be as easy to describe and then have people, but I can talk through it.
If you tell us, if you want to let us know the line numbers, and then maybe we can look at it and you could give us a little verbal.
Sure. Okay. So the amendment begins lines 1.2 through 1.6 is language from Education Minnesota that reinforces employees' collective bargaining rights by making sure that the employer must bargain about any changes affecting or relating to the employee's terms and conditions of employment. Line 1.7 deletes the data subdivision from section 9 of the bill. Updated data practices language is added in line 2.12 of the amendment. Lines 1.17 through 2.9 adds language directing MMB to provide a transition report to the legislature. This transition report requires the MMB commissioner to report to the legislature on the status of work related to establishing and setting up the department. This is because this is a lengthy process and we want to build in check-ins and legislative oversight to make sure we are working together to get this right. Lines 1.20 through 1.24 adds a quarterly reporting requirement, including requiring each report by the 15th of the month following the quarter. Lines 2.12 through 2.28 adds data practice language in an uncoded section and includes an expiration date and excludes the references to the Department of Health. Data practices language is updated to expire after 4 years, limited to the transition so that relevant information can be transferred to the new agency. And that's the amendment.
Members, are you comfortable with the verbal explanation, or do you want to wait for the written copy? Okay. Okay. We'll wait for that amendment, but in the meantime, we could begin with testifiers, do you think? And then we'll come back to the amendment.
Yes, Aaron Bailey is here to present to
Perfect. All right, let's do that. Ms. Bailey, if you would please state your name for the record, and then you may begin.
Good morning, Chair Kunish and members of the committee. My name is Erin Bailey, and I serve as the Executive Director of the Children's Cabinet. The Children's Cabinet, housed within MMB, refers to the convening of our state's commissioners around children and youth. I'm excited to be here today to present the Walz-Flanagan proposal to create a new cabinet-level Department of Children, Youth, and Families through a transition process that uses dedicated time, capacity, and resources. We believe this proposal reimagines state government by providing an opportunity to better center our children in our state government systems. I'll be presenting today with my colleague Bami Burnham from MDE, the Department of Education. Her, along with my colleagues across the enterprise, have co-led a decision to propose this child-centered agency and develop the proposed scope and transition office and plan. We are excited about the moment we're in, what is possible, and we truly believe that if we want different results, we need to do things differently. I'll just briefly touch on the why behind this proposal. 4.1 million children live in our state, but a third of these children live in lower income families. Children are the most racially diverse age group in our state. 1/3 of all children in our state are Black, Indigenous, or children of color. Yet we do not have a cabinet level agency, as other states do, that provides a focus around wraparound supports, especially for our youngest families and our disconnected youth. The programs and systems that support them exist within structures with competing priorities. Yet children are Minnesota's priority, they are our future, and as you know, our overall well-being as a state depends on their success. For years, and in some cases decades, we have heard from the early childhood community about a need for a dedicated agency. We have heard that some agencies are too big. We have heard that youth need a clearer voice. For this and many other reasons, We have really doubled down on this work, listening, learning, and leveraging the Children's Cabinet and its leaders to center children in our decisions and improve our coordination. With learnings from governance reports, cross-agency work, OLA reports, and other states, the case for additional alignment is clear. It's time for Minnesota to create an agency centered on children, as I said, that is similar to the governance in more than half the states in the country. There's history to build off of and learn from in Minnesota. Some of this might be quite familiar to you all. In 1995, the legislature created the Department of Children, Families, and Learning. The department replaced the Department of Education with a broader focus and encompassed the K-12 scope. In 2003, the Department of Education was reestablished with programs distributed back to home agencies. Yet challenges continued to be lifted up by families and communities. A 2010 task force recommended a cabinet-level office for early childhood, and the Office of Early Learning was created. The proposal before you is different. It's more in line with states across the country, including successes in the last several years. Over the last 4 years, the state relaunched a robust action-oriented children's cabinet that's focused prenatally through young adulthood, with a number of interagency teams that are driving agency coordination and problem solving. We received the federal preschool development grant, starting with a robust engagement process to develop a family-informed statewide early childhood strategic plan. These efforts have built a moment of now, with feedback and partnerships and strong alignment across leadership in the state to move along a more coordinated continuum as other states. Related to governance of children's programs, there are 3 models: consolidated into new agencies, consolidated into existing agencies, or coordination. As I said, states are really moving towards this more child-focused agencies, some specifically to early childhood, others with a more whole family lens. Several states not on this map here are in the process right now are moving to a more consolidated model as well. Washington is one consolidation model we've examined. Their agency was established in law in 2017 and consolidated services from health, human services, and early learning. The transitions to consolidation have a streamlined focus and presented opportunities for innovative service coordination. The MAD governance report from 2022 was clear about what our state needs for successful governance change. It includes careful attention to the following: planned, dedicated staff, resources, and time, engaging with leaders and securing buy-in, and determining the funding and resources needed. Considering this, we put together the proposal that's before you today with the time and resources to get it right and adapt with you all as needed. I talked real briefly about alluded to the why. It really is a public face, a clear front door in our state's quest to prioritize children. Increased opportunities to maximize and coordinate funding, to align outcomes and convene leadership, and to sharpen the focus of our current agencies. In accomplishing this why, our leaders agreed to hold principles related to a whole family approach, to consolidate early childhood programs, to ease access, and to improve equitable outcomes. I'm going to talk kind of specifically about the proposal. The language directs the transfer of core programs between July 1, 24 and July 1, 25. It is not all immediate on July 1 of 24. Thought and readiness was considered in the core programs listed in the legislation. The core of this proposal is an elevation of children and family services at the Department of Human Services, and the proposal then consolidates other programs, including those within the Early Learning Services Division and an after-school grant program. And the bill language and existing authorities allow for adjustments to these core programs over time. The focus of the bill funds an implementation team and a transition fund, obtaining authority to support the creation, alignment, and launch of a 2-year process of moving core programs to the new agency. The transition office will be established July 1 of this year and will be responsible for leading the establishment of the new department, planning and transition of budget, finance, legal, human resources, IT, and other functions. The agencies are continuing to work on refinements to these functions and next steps. Here is a list in plain language as well, for the sake of clarity, from the Department of Education. Programs moving are those under Early Learning Services Division, as well as I mentioned, the after-school grant program that is not in statute. That is in statute but is not currently funded. The governor proposed $45 million to reestablish this program, and would be available through fiscal years 27. We also propose moving the Youth Justice Office from the Department of Public Safety and Help Me Connect, which is an online family navigator tool from the Department of Health. For reference, here are the programs named to transfer from DHS and our other agencies. I'll just end by stating the obvious. This proposal seeks to answer questions and feedback heard for many years. But in order to do it right, we need a robust engagement process. We need more specific discussions with families, with local service providers, including schools and districts, tribes, and others. And the way to do that is through dedicated time and capacity. And that time is now. We have a network of leaders ready to engage, believing that this exercise is important and necessary. I'll now turn it over to Assistant Commissioner Burnham to speak about the impact of the proposal.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey. Before we do that, members, have you all had a chance to look at that amendment? Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in approval of the amendment, say aye. Aye. Those nay? All right, the amendment passes. And we now have MDE Assistant Commissioner Bobby Burnham. If you would like to state your full name for the record, and you may begin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, committee members. My name is Bobby Burnham, and I am the Assistant Commissioner for the Office of Teaching and Learning at the Minnesota Department of Education. After years of working inside and outside of the government, mostly focused on the goal to ensure coordination and access to early care and learning programs that support successful transitions into the K-12 system, I am thrilled we are at this point of proposing a child-focused agency. Through recent efforts funded by the legislature and administrative efforts like Race to the Top grant, the Early Childhood Systems Reform effort, the OLA report on early childhood, and most recently the work of the Children's Cabinet and the Preschool Development Grant, the state has made significant progress in coordinating and aligning early childhood programs, and we've heard the needs related to this governance shift. Through these efforts and engagement, we believe in building on our progress by consolidating early childhood programs to drive results in improved outcomes for children, families, and the workforce, improved coordination for providers, aligned funding, prioritization, and a common application or front door for families. Continuing to engage our community members, educators, and program administrators in this process and the transition. I want to acknowledge that we have received feedback from our early childhood special education ECSE partners regarding the transition of Part C services. Part C is listed as a core service that would move to the new agency under this proposal. This would change the state level lead agency responsible for the state level administration of Part C from the Department of Education to the new proposed agency. This does not change Part C administration at the district or local level. We are not proposing any changes to how these services are currently delivered or who delivers them. Creating a new state agency with the purpose of better aligning programs will not change a district's collective bargaining agreements, and there is no proposed language that would change who is defined as service providers for Part C. We've made significant progress to better coordination in our early childhood system, and we believe shifting governance of programs will build on that progress. Specifically, a Department of Children, Youth, and Families will enable the creation of a sustainable central state vision to ensure Minnesota families are able to reach their full potential. This will prioritize our children in our structure and coordination, including with MDE, will continue. The agency can provide the leadership and coordination needed to support children and families by valuing and implementing research-backed multi-generational approaches, coordinated implementation of unified statewide networks of community resource centers, prioritizing youth with leadership and creating an agency that focuses upstream with youth. We must act boldly in this moment, learning from years of engagement, research, in other states, because our state depends on the success of Minnesota's children, youth, and families. The creation of the new Department of Children, Youth, and Families can help achieve a clear front door and recognizable public face, improved communication focused on children and families, coordinated and maximized funding, aligned outcomes, and improved access to services. And we have a plan to take time, do it right, and continue listening and engaging with agency staff, experts, our tribal and county partners, and families. Thank you. We are eager to answer your questions today and happy to connect individually to discuss this proposal and opportunity further.
Thank you so much. Members, wondering what questions you have?
Madam Chair,
Oops, excuse me. Yes.
I believe, is there one more testifier who I believe was, I don't know.
Okay. We do have 3 more bills this evening, and we have to be out of here in an hour. So if you could keep your testimony to about 2 minutes, I would appreciate that.
Absolutely. Good evening, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Cisa Keller. I'm the Senior Vice President of Early Childhood Programs at Think Small, where our mission is to advance quality care and education for children in their crucial years. I'm here tonight speaking in support of Senate File 2399. Think Small supports this proposal for the creation of the Department of Children, Youth, and Families for one simple reason. It will positively impact the lives of children and families we as a frontline organization interact with every single day. A couple of examples of why we see this as so critical. In the most practical sense, we make the lives of families who are often already experiencing difficult circumstances so much more difficult than necessary by operating programs out of multiple agencies, asking families to fill out multiple applications, providing the same information over and over to different agencies, to complying with different requirements, going through different or overlapping processes. Of course, families will do what is necessary to get the help they are so desperate for, but they shouldn't shoulder the burden of our bureaucratic disorganization. This proposal reorganizes state government in a way that will lift this burden. Next, on the topic of child well-being, we know that disruptions in the continuity of care and education are truly terrible for a fast-developing young brain. As members of a committee on education, I am sure you would find it concerning if you learned that children's access to first or second grade was being disrupted by mid-year loss of funding, or that children were unable to go to school for part of the day due to limitations on awards. And yet our continued bifurcation of care and education into 2 separate agencies allow this to be a common occurrence for some of our most vulnerable children. This proposal would put the developmental needs of children at the center of decision-making going forward. I do not share these examples to diminish the tremendous work our partners in state government do every day. I know they're here today, and we've heard from them, leading this charge because they know firsthand how beneficial this change would be. We couldn't be more pleased to be working in partnership on this. I'll close with a comment that a parent who testified on this bill during a previous stop made. I think it sums it up pretty well. I'm a parent of 2 young children, not an expert in government programming. And when I hear that Minnesota depends on children, youth, and families, I know that parents need more support to be successful. I think it's common sense to have a Department of Children, Youth, and Families in Minnesota to help families like mine as they navigate through the hardest times of their lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, members, questions. Senator Rarick.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'll try to be quick. The first one I have, Senator Wiklund, I'm not sure if you've had these discussions or if it might be some staff at higher levels, but I see we're taking people from 4 different agencies and moving them into one. What will the areas of jurisdiction for the committees be over this agency? Will that remain with all of the committees like your committee and our committee and public safety, or is that potentially going to be consolidated over time into a different committee? Has there been any discussion on that?
Thank you, Senator Rarick. That was my question, actually. And so, Senator, if you'd like to respond.
Madam Chair, Senator Rarick, I don't have a precise answer. I mean, I have not gone through this in my experience in the 10 years in the Senate of having a transition and a change in the agency structure within government. I believe that we, as legislators, have the opportunity to review committee structure and to make changes in that. And we also have the ability to leave our committee structures alone and try and make them work. But I guess from my perspective, it would be easier if they were more aligned, because it makes it easier when we're doing budget work. But I think that remains to be seen. The first part of this process is to establish an implementation team, so it doesn't all happen overnight. So I think we have time to examine the process and how it would turn out, so.
Follow-up?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Two more quick ones. So seeing that we're transferring people, and I see part of the provisions are, programs and funds have to be looked at, how they're moving. So I understand we don't have, like a fiscal note, because that's all going to happen, but will we basically see in a fiscal note that we're just going to be transferring what's, say, in the base of one agency over to this agency? That's kind of how the fiscal note will work. Am I seeing or interpreting that correctly?
Senator, do you have an idea how that's going to work? Okay, go ahead, Ms. Bailey.
Chair Kunish, Senator Barrick. We have the bill appropriates resources specifically for the transition process, which is kind of a one-year period of time, really understanding that we need that time to really analyze and move, understand the cost and budgetary impacts.
Thank you. And follow-up?
Yeah, so follow up on that. Thank you, Madam Chair. But so the ongoing, like, salaries, things of that nature, that's basically going to just shift from the agency where folks are at right now into this new agency? Because as I'm reading these appropriations, right, they're for getting set up, but they're not for ongoing operations. So am I assuming that basically the fiscal note will be a wash in the end, that we're transferring from one agency to this agency? So we'll see a negative at that agency when we see the addition at the new agency for wages and the ongoing expenses.
Ms. Bailey.
Chair Kunish, Senator Barrick. Again, this bill specifically appropriates the resources for that transition period. Certainly, as you can see in the language, we anticipate that those base programs and staff that are supporting those base programs would transfer to the new agency.
Okay. And
Senator Barrick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. One last question. I appreciate the amendment in the section where we're having the reporting coming back. The one thing that I'm not seeing in there in it is in regard to the two appropriations. Will there be kind of that breakdown of how the money is spent, especially, say, in the last 2 months, that is available to the public and to the legislative committees, so that we can see how that was being used, and to see if there was, at the very end, money was just used to make sure they used it up, or if, we hear that from a number of people and agencies as the time is running out, well, figure out a way to spend it. Will we have that ability to see the details of how these two appropriations are being spent in this report that's going to be coming?
Ms. Bailey.
Chair Kunish, Senator Barrick, thank you for the question. I think it's a great point. I'm certainly happy to report back to this committee and legislators on those resources. That it would be our goal, obviously, to have those resources and supports for kids and families first and foremost. So appreciate the question and certainly would want that transparency.
Okay. All right. Anyone else with a question? Wonderful. All right. Senator Wiklund, any final comments?
Just thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing me to present in your committee tonight, and I hope that members have learned more about the proposal, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I think it's an exciting opportunity for us to have an agency that is focused on children, and we can bring some of these programs together to make it easier for families and also more efficient for us to kind of implement a vision for early childhood. So, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wiklund. I think this is a really exciting opportunity to create this children's cabinet, and as you said, combine all those resources into a one-stop shop sort of thing for efficiency in addressing those. So thank you for bringing this forward. And with that, Senator Westland reaffirms the motion to lay this bill over. Thank you. Next, we have Senator Oumou Verbeten, who will share with us the Sanneh Foundation. And I believe you have two testifiers, Ellen Schulman and Candace Logan. If you both would like to join Ms. Oumou Verbeten at the testimony table, we'll be ready. And if you'd like to go ahead with your motion to move your bill?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to move that Senate File 2147 be laid over for possible inclusion on this.
All right, and we'll accept that motion. You may begin to introduce your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sanneh Foundation is doing great work in our community, really building the next generation of leaders, and I'm going to focus on the Dreamline program, which actually started at Como Park High School, which is in my district. And the program was at one point all across St. Paul Public Schools, but really it's due to the pandemic and the lack of adequate resources that they've had to sort of limit coverage. This bill and the $2.5 million request each year added to the base can really help turn that around and make sure that students have access to these programs. The Dreamline program partners with schools to strengthen a student's learning environment and support three core dimensions of a student's development: social, emotional, and cognitive. And this helps young people define their own path to success by helping them to engage with their peers, school, and community, help them improve their physical and emotional well-being, discover academic success and graduate from high school, which is very important, and just prepare for life after high school as well. The program advances diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice by really empowering students with the social, emotional, and academic skills that they need to thrive. But with that, I would like to turn it over to Ellen Schulman, who's the Chief of Staff and Vice President of Learning, to share more about the program.
Thanks
Good
so
evening.
much. And Ms. Schulman, if you would state your full name for the record, and you may begin.
Good evening. I'm Ellen Schulman, S-H-U-L-M-A-N. Good evening, Honorable Chair of Senate Education Committee and honorable committee members. Thank you so much for inviting us to this meeting with you this evening. As I mentioned, my name is Ellen Schulman, and I'm the Chief of Staff at the Sanneh Foundation. Accompanying me this evening is Candace Logan, our Executive Vice President and Executive Director of the Sanneh Foundation's flagship Dreamline program. Our CEO, Tony Sanneh, expresses his regret for not being able to attend this important hearing, as he has a prior commitment with the Search Institute in Washington, D.C. Tony shared his brief remarks with me, which I would like to share with you this evening. 10 years ago, I retired after over 2 decades as a professional athlete. I not only excelled as an athlete, but I learned about the power of relationships, leadership, and community. When I returned to my hometown of St. Paul, I knew I wanted to give back. I wanted to impact my community in a meaningful and sustainable way. Soon, my focus became youth development. When I developed my school-based program in Minnesota, my goal was to place adults who had similar experiences to the youth we serve in school as mentors. We started with 1 St. Paul school, as was already mentioned, and grew the program to every high school in St. Paul public schools. We were extremely successful. Due to our success in St. Paul schools, we developed a partnership with the St. Cloud School District, and it's expanded to all secondary schools there. Thanks to Commissioner Jett's unwavering commitment to student success and the belief in the Sanneh Foundation, we were able to not only have a broader reach, but also to increase the scope and capacity of our work. Today, we have grown to an $8 million organization, employing over 90 employees and supporting the community here and in greater Minnesota. I ask that you can continue to partner with us as we expand even further and continually improve our programming. Sincerely, Tone Sanneh. Without permanent funding, this is from me, without permanent funding, our ability to operate efficiently and expand our programming is severely limited. Youth and human development is at the center of all that we do. And as I mentioned, Dreamline is our flagship program. Dreamline is a school-based mentoring program for students who would benefit from greater social, emotional, and academic learning support, serving 15 schools in the metro area and St. Cloud. Over 80% of our Dreamline mentors identify as BIPOC. Dreamline mentors receive high-quality professional development throughout the year in the areas of social-emotional learning, youth development, academic intervention, and trauma-informed teaching by experts in the field. This ensures that the support and service they are providing our youth is relevant and informed by best practice. As you may know, the pandemic has had an adverse impact on our schools. Our students suffered socially and academically and need Dreamline mentors more than ever. Prior to COVID, we partnered with St. Mary's University of Minnesota to educate a cohort of 10 teachers of color through our teacher prep pathway. These former Dreamline mentors then entered the workforce as educators. In order to maintain and grow our pathway programming, we need to be able to plan 2 to 3 years ahead. This requires secure funding, which we are requesting today. Support for our funding request will allow the Dreamline program to continue offering the teacher prep pathway to its mentors and expand to other Minnesota schools. Before, you were given some of our information, a data sheet, and I'd like to turn it over real quickly to Candace Logan to give a quick introduction of herself and to explain a little bit about the data that we have in front of you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Schulman. And Ms. Logan, if you would state your full name for the record, and you may begin.
I will. Good evening, Madam Chair and committee members. My name is Candace Logan, and I'm excited to be here tonight. I get the privilege of leading Dreamline, and as I won't say former, because once you're an educator, you're always an educator. 25 years in the game of education, and so I am very passionate about the work of Dreamline and stand behind the work that our mentors do across the schools that we get the privilege of supporting. The two data points that I'd like to draw your attention to are on the back side of the sheet that you received. The information on the front will share with you the schools that we're currently supporting. So the two data points that I want to spend a little time on is the increased sense of belonging in school. And when I think back to what Ms. Schulman shared about the impact that COVID is continuing to have on our students, one of those pieces that students were most impacted by was their sense of belonging and feeling connected to school. So our data shows that 76.9% of our Dreamline enrolled students reported an increased sense of belonging because of the support provided by the Dreamline program. And when students feel a sense of belonging, they get to be their unapologetic self in the classroom. They feel seen, they feel valued. That engagement increases in school, particularly being connected with another adult in addition to their classroom teacher. The second data point I want to mention is the 53% reduction in Dreamline enrolled students being sent out of class for behavior issues each week from beginning of Dreamline enrollment to the end of the school year. That number can be deceiving because it's almost like an if-then, but one of the things that we talk about in Dreamline is how do mentors support students in advocating for themselves? So how do you share with the teacher that maybe your viewpoints aren't agreeing, but how do you do that in a way so that the adult can hear you? So we talk about advocacy and agency. And oftentimes when students figure out ways to be able to share how they feel that they've been harmed, and they can communicate that to an adult who can also receive that, then that misunderstanding gets cleared up, and we have less students missing time in class learning. So those were the two pieces I wanted to share.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that, the effort to reduce that out-of-class referral, so very much so. Members, questions? Senator Burke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This kind of reminds me of questions that we would ask in Jobs Committee over the years, but so can you let us know what your current annual budget is and where those funds currently come from?
Would either of you have information on that? Are you doing the math?
Doing that, well, I was writing down, because I just was talking about our budget at one particular site. I believe, because we were looking at budget recently, and I can also get the exact amount to you at a later time. I'm sorry? An estimate? Okay, I would say, I believe the budget's about 3, does that sound right? About 3 million? But I want to give you an exact amount because we're talking money. So I will get back to you.
That would be great if you got, if
Absolutely.
you could share that. You can send it to my office.
Okay.
Sammy Rashab here is my assistant, and then we can disseminate that to everybody. Senator Burke?
And then what are the source of those funds typically right now?
Thank you. Some of the sources of the funding are, we have a grant from Minnesota Department of Education. We also have fee-based services, so we have districts that are paying for their contract. We also have grants from different philanthropic organizations like Ecolab. There's one today that we were writing, but we haven't submitted yet, so I won't mention that. But most of them, the rest of them are philanthropic grants that we receive.
And then one more question, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And then if you receive this funding, do you envision how many new schools or districts, or is it a number of students that you're potentially looking to be able to serve above and beyond what you are right now?
Well, we're looking to, gosh, I forget the process. I'm supposed to name his name.
Senator.
Senator, my apologies. It's almost like the first day of school. I'm forgetting everyone's name. Senator, one of the conversations that I've had with several districts this year is their interest in Dreamline. But as many of our districts are hitting what is being called a funding cliff with ARP dollars, they're having to figure out how they're going to budget. Some of those districts that I've spoken with are in Austin, Minnesota. Moorhead, Minnesota is interested in Dreamline. We had a conversation with Rochester earlier in the year. So it would look, that money would go towards Dreamline expansion and being able to support districts that aren't able to pay as much as they would like, but they also know that the need is there for the students. And so we want to be able to provide that service.
Thank you, Senator Burke. Anyone else? No.
Madam Chair, may I expand on that question just a
Sure,
little bit?
sure, happy.
In addition to expansion to different schools, we're also constantly looking at our pathway program and how we will improve upon and then also provide more opportunities for our mentors for their pathway. So we're looking at, if we are able to secure this money, then we would be able to provide more opportunities for career advancement for those mentors. So our hope would be that we would be expanding our pool of mentors, which would then, because we have more schools that we're working with. And as Ms. Logan mentioned, we have many schools that are interested. However, they do pay in as another funding source. So it is the grants that were mentioned, it's the state funding that comes, and then it's also school funded. And so as a school, and I was a principal at one of those schools, because of budget cuts, I was no longer able to have a Dreamline mentorship program at our school because we were unable to secure funding. So if we can have a little bit of reprieve on that, then that would support and other schools as well.
Thank you very much for that. All right. Well, it looks like there aren't any more questions. Senator Oumou Verbeten, do you have some final words?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just really grateful for the Sanneh Foundation and their work for our kiddos. I know they are eager to help even more kids across Minnesota, so the committee will support them with these funds.
Thank you so much, and thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
in this evening. And thank you for being educators in your
Yeah.
past. I'm too taught for 25 years, so I get that.
We're
All
with
right.
you.
All right, thanks so much. All right, next we have 1450, Senator Cwodzinski, 1415. All right, Senator Cwodzinski, would you like to move your Bill 1450 for possible inclusion?
I would. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Then you may go ahead and introduce your bill.
Junior achievement programming is focused on building financial literacy and stability for young people with an emphasis on systemically excluded in rural populations. You'll see this wonderful glossy handout in front of you. Junior Achievement supports over 80,000 students across the state of Minnesota, engages 5,000 corporate and community volunteers to bring this program to life for students. I'll say that again, to bring this program for life for our students. A few weeks ago, I met a few of these young entrepreneurs, and it was one of the highlights of certainly this year for me. And they were so excited and enthusiastic and exuberant about their future as budding engineers and entrepreneurs. And anyway, so the bill provides $1 million per year grant for more students and continuing students to participate in this wonderful, wonderful program. And we have a couple testifiers to that tonight. And so,
Wonderful. It looks like we're going to start with Sarah Juk. Go ahead, if you would introduce yourself, full name for the record, and then you may begin.
Thank you. Madam Chair, members of the committee, my name is Sarah Juk. I am the president and CEO of Junior Achievement North. I'm excited to have one of our fifth grade teachers here with me this evening, as well as two of our fifth grade students. Thank you, Senator Cwodzinski, for being such a supporter of ours and for the introduction. Junior Achievement North is really focused on building the next generation of leaders and the workforce for our community. We are focused on equitably serving students, kindergarten through 12th grade. We are really wanting to make sure that we're building vibrant local communities. So we have strong programming and partnerships in the Twin Cities as well as throughout the state. Our volunteers go into the classroom during the school day to deliver junior achievement curriculum, kindergarten through 12th grade, focused on building financial stability, cultivating young entrepreneurs, and bringing those real-life skills and career exposure to students in the classroom. In addition to the volunteers that go into the classroom, we have a spectacular learning lab on University Avenue in St. Paul. In that learning lab, we have a business incubator space for high school students to come in and start their own businesses, having access to mentors, space, and technology to build their businesses from the ground up. And we also have 2 experiential learning labs. Students can come in and have a personal finance experience. After weeks of curriculum in the classroom, they come in and they put it into practice, money management and budgeting, put it into practice. And we also have a program called JA BizTown, where students, after experiences in the classroom, come in and run a city for a day. Those 2 programs are really the signature programs for the organization. 20,000 students come into our doors every year for those programs. All of our programs in the classroom we offer at no cost to our schools. The programs in our facility do have an expense to them. It's $20 per student for the experience. An appropriation from the state would allow us to double the number of students coming into those labs from 20,000 to 40,000, and would allow us to eliminate that $20 per student expense for our schools and our families. So it would have a significant impact. I'm thrilled to have a couple of people here today to just tell you a little bit more about that program.
Thank you so much, and I'm afraid the fifth grade teacher, we don't know your name, but if you would state your full name for the record, and then you may begin.
Absolutely. My name is Kelly Berghaus, Berghaus.
Okay. And you may begin.
Madam Chair and committee members, my name is Kelly Berghaus. I'm a fifth grade teacher at Community School of Excellence. I'm in my 15th year of teaching, so you can imagine that I've been on multiple field trips. And going to JA BizTown is by far my favorite one to go on. Before I get into why it's my favorite field trip, let me tell you a little bit about my students and school. So Community School of Excellence is a Hmong language and culture school in St. Paul. A majority of the students are Southeast Asian. Many are refugees, and many are also first-generation citizens. 89% of our school is free and reduced lunch. So a scholarship opportunity like this is a really big deal for us. Like Sarah had mentioned earlier, students run a city for the day in JA BizTown. And I believe that the most valuable learning experiences are experiential and hands-on, and BizTown is both of those. But of all the things we do in class all year, I really think BizTown has the most real-world application. Some examples of things that students do, real-world things, are having a job interview, filling out a job application, having a checkbook and a debit card and learning how to balance those, figuring out how to spend money, and working together as a group. Beyond real-world skills, JA BizTown caters to all learning styles, provides students opportunities to explore what kind of careers they might want to have or not want to have, gives them the confidence to do hard things, and last but not least, provides them empathy for their parents. One student said she worked at their US Bank, and that's where her mom works, and she said, "Oh, now I get why my mom works so hard." I hope to be able to continue to go to BizTown, and I also hope that schools like ours get to have the opportunity to go as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Berghaus. Appreciate that and the work that you do for our students. And now we are going to hear from the voices of our youth. We have a young CEO and another young mayor. So let's hear from Dylan Wynn first, if you don't mind. Dylan, if you would speak really clearly into the microphone, state your full name for us, and then you may begin.
Hi, my name is Dylan Wynn, and I'm 11 years old. I attend Westfield Elementary School. My fifth grade class went on a field trip to BizTown 2 weeks ago. I got the job of CFO for Excel Energy. During my field trip to BizTown, I had a lot of enjoyment at BizTown because we got real-life experiences. I got to manage money, pay bills and loans, and buy things. I got to pay my employees also. We didn't have enough money to pay our bills, so we had to sell products and energy. We did that by going door to door to other businesses. During break, the first thing we did was to confirm our paychecks and get debit cards, then we ate lunch. I really enjoyed the experience that I had at BizTown because we learned and had a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for your testimony, and glad you got those paychecks out in time. I'm sure everybody else appreciated it, right? All right, next we have Addie Juk. If you would please state your full name for the record, and then you may begin also.
Hello, my name is Addie Juk. I'm a fifth grader at Westfield Elementary. Last week I went to JA BizTown with my school. To prepare for JA Biztown, we learned about how to balance a checking account, how to use credit cards, and to apply for jobs. We had an election for mayor, and I was elected. JA Biztown taught me to be a great leader. While I was at JA Biztown, we got paid and got breaks. My favorite part was managing and being an adult for the day. All of my friends had a great time and loved being at their businesses. We had 2 town meetings, and I, as the mayor, got to speak, and so did the CEOs. We had such a fun time. I hope that other kids get the chance to go to JA Biztown. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Addie. Appreciate that. Any questions from our, yes, Senator Rarick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. But I guess first I want to say, Dylan, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Energy Committee one of these days to deal with Excel. And Addie, I do not serve on state and local government, so I won't see you there when you come forward as mayor, but, we appreciate that. So, no, I do, my second question to the other group was answered in the testimony about you're looking to basically double the number of students you're serving, but can you let us know what your current annual budget is and where you receive those funds from now?
And you may go ahead, Ms. Joke, when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Senator. Our annual budget is $6 million. More than 95% comes from private philanthropy, so primarily corporations, some foundations, and some individual giving.
Any follow-up? No? Any questions? It looks like Mr. Nguyen is just dying for a question.
No. I'm good.
Are you sure? Okay, go ahead, Senator Rare.
I was going to do an answer, but...
Thank you, Madam Chair. So is this open to any school that wishes to contact you and come down, or do you reach out to certain ones? How would that work for a school to come to your facility?
Go ahead, Ms. Jook.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Senator. Sorry about that. Any school throughout the state of Minnesota is able to and invited to come to our facility. We recognize that distance might be an issue. We do have schools that board the bus at 5 in the morning to be able to come and spend the day with us. But we are also rolling out virtual options and pop-up options that we can bring to our school partners that might not be able to come to us. But we are looking for public, private, and charter schools that are interested in partnering with us.
Follow up? Anyone else? So I do remember, and I shared this with you earlier, as an elementary library media specialist, I got to interact with my 5th grade students quite a bit as they participated in junior achievement. And I know there were some younger grades as well. I'm thinking, is it 3rd and 5th grade that you usually focus on?
Madam Chair, it's kindergarten through 12th grade.
Okay.
So we build on curriculum. Students start by learning about themselves. They learn about their communities, their cities, their region, and the nation, and we continue to build in their learning and experiences with us.
I think that's great. Anyone else? Well, thank you so much, CEO Nguyen and Mayor Juk, for joining us and bringing your teachers and your parents. Senator Cwodzinski, any final words?
No, the kids spoke for them, for everything. I couldn't have said anything better. The program speaks for itself.
Thank you so much. And so with that, Senator, would you like to renew your motion?
I would. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. With that, we will lay over Senate File 1415 for possible inclusion in our omnibus bill. Thank you. And then lastly, but not leastly, we have Senate File 2722, Senator Champion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to the committee. I know that it's late, but I'm grateful for you taking the time to hear this important piece of legislation. I will say that I've been, even though I've had to go in and out just doing different things, I have had a chance to listen to the various proposals that have come before this wonderful committee. And I want you to know that I'm impressed, and I know the decisions that you're going to make are going to be very tough. Let me just say that. But I'm hoping, Madam Chair, that as you are thinking about your omnibus bill and what you should include there, I hope in your decision-making that you include Senate File 2722. And let me just take a brief moment to explain why. You know, I wanted to make sure that you were clear that the piece of policy that's before you is to give resources to girls taking action. And let me tell you that before they were girls in action. And then that changed in shortly after they started in 05. And they were founded by an African-American female who is sitting to my left, Dr. Verna Price. Dr. Price has committed her life, I thought this would be important for you to know, that she's committed her life to empowering, mentoring, educating girls, particularly poverty-stricken girls of color in urban public schools, to find their personal power and change their life by making good decisions, graduating from high school and attending college without becoming a teenage mother. Girls in action, girls taking action, and you see sometimes I'll say girls in action because I'm so used to saying that because I've been supporting this program for quite some time. So when they say girls taking action, I was like, okay, they're taking over. You know, I think Beyonce had it right. Girls, you know, rule the world. That's what I heard. And so I would have to agree with them. So Girls Taking Action is a weekly mentoring and empowerment program for female students grades 6 through 12 that extend throughout the school year and is integrated into their regular school day. And when you think about it, their mission, and I know that I'm providing some of the context here because I know our testifiers only get 2 minutes, so it's important for me to give some context. Their mission is to motivate, empower, and educate students about the importance of understanding their personal power, achieving academically, actualizing their personal leadership, creating positive social change in their local community, and developing a career plan that includes post-secondary education. And I looked at their goals because that's important. If you want to be successful, you have to set goals. Their goals are to empower girls to find and positively use their personal power, mentor through meaningful connections to women leaders, increase academic engagement while decreasing negative and violent behavior, prepare girls to graduate on time and pursue higher education, and engage girls in advocacy and social change through service learning, and engage girls in positive cross-cultural interactions and communications. Now that's important and rich because that begins to enrich your life and improve mental health and outlook for girls. Last but certainly not least, Madam Chair, you might ask this important question because if you look behind me, I feel like the Verizon person where they're the person who's there and then you look behind the person. And their smile we get the $1 million smiles back there.
Shh, there's someone sleeping back there.
And so it's important to see them smiling because who are the girls? Even though you see some dads back there, you see Shane Price, the great husband of Dr. Price is back there, her sons and others, you know. But the program serves the entire Twin Cities metropolitan area and has now expanded to St. Cloud Public Schools. And their community-based programs consist of Latina, East African, African American, and Asian chapters. And they are currently serving 420 girls in the Twin Cities metro area in St. Cloud across 21 groups of girls which meet weekly. So they're expanding their program to offer, guess what? A summer program for girls. You know, my mom always tells me, even to this day, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. And so it is important for us to be busy and strategically purposeful. And that's why I'm so excited about girls taking action. So with that being said, 2 minutes will be given to my wonderful Dr. Verna Price, who will take over, and then my other testifiers know that it's only for 2 minutes. So,
Absolutely.
Dr. Price, if you will, Madam
Well, in
Chair.
Girls Taking Action. we
Dr.
give a-
Price, could we
yes.
just
Sure.
take a minute? I think we need to move the bill. So we can
Move that
put-
bill. Let's
yeah.
do it.
So Senator Oumou Verbeten, would you like to move that bill?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to move Senate File 2722 for possible inclusion in the omnibus.
Thank you so much. And now, Dr. Price.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Madam Chair and committee. Thanks so much for having us at this late hour in the evening. My name is Dr. Verna Cornelia Price, and I am the founder of Girls Taking Action, which I founded 18 years ago when I got a call from my neighborhood school that my husband is an alumni of, North High School, and the call was very simple: our girls need positive role models. And at that time, our girls at North High School were about 95% African American girls. There was a lot of fighting, a lot of violence going on, and girls were disengaging in schools. And you know, when girls disengage in schools, it's a domino effect. It's not just disengage in schools and get in a fight. It's stay at home. It's now hanging out with the wrong people. It's now engaging in negative behavior for girls that results in lots of things, you know, including pregnancy and so forth and so on. And so I simply said yes. And today at Mary UT Arena, I run into my first principal from North High School, Brian, and he's now the assistant superintendent at Osseo. He goes, Dr. Verna, I need you in Osseo. You got to come to Osseo. Our girls are off the chain. They need some help, Dr. Verna. This is at the state basketball, thing, and he's telling me to come to Osseo, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the Senate, and we're going to talk about it, okay? And why do I say that? Because I have never charged a penny to any girl for this program. I just made up my mind that I was going to do whatever I had to do to make sure that our girls get this. Because I know that 98% of our girls graduate from high school on time, and I know that 80% of them go to college, and that we're probably one of the only organizations in town that are talking to 425 families every week. Personal phone calls. So I'm going to let our girls speak for what the program has done for them. And I have an 8th grader, one of our 8th graders, Ramey, and then I have Ami, who's in 10th grade, and then I have Shadow, who's one of our alum, who's gone through the whole program, and let them tell you their story and why this program is so important to them. And Ramey's mom and dad and her little brother are here as well in the gallery. So let's give them a hand for coming.
Ramey, would you please state your full name for the record, and then you may begin. And speak right into the microphone if you would.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ramey Logan. I am a member of Girls Taking Action. Girls Taking Action needs funding so girls like me can be a leader to show and to prove not only to myself, but to other girls they can be leaders too. Girls Taking Action is a great place to learn about myself and to build a community and to be a leader for the upcoming generation. Girls Taking Action has been life-changing to me, learning more about myself, looking at me more, and learning more about how Girls Taking Action can help me change the world someday. Funding is important to Girls Taking Action so we can mold new upcoming leaders such as Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris, Maya Angelou, all women of color, all leaders. Funding can take us on trips and provide us with new materials to learn and grow and to be a leader, a role model, a helper, and the best woman I can be.
Thank you.
I'll give you some snaps up,
Yeah,
Ramey. Give you
that's
up
what we
some
need.
snaps. I love that. Ramey, would you have Ami come up? Go ahead, ma'am.
Nope, you go right
Are
ahead.
you good?
You're
I
running the
didn't mean to
show
take
here.
over.
Done an
Okay,
excellent
sorry.
job of it. And this is Ami?
Yes, ma'am.
Ami, would you please state your full name for the record, and then you may begin.
Good evening. My name is Ami Jain. I joined Girls Taking Action because of the leadership skills I could gain from simply just observing the women in the community. I also joined for the opportunity to learn these leadership skills for later in life. Leadership skills like being able to speak confidently amongst my peers and adults. Girls Taking Action has helped me find my voice. It has benefited me by helping me find my voice and spread positivity around me. In my everyday classroom, I don't get the opportunity to have conversations about who I am and the importance of my physical self. But Girls Taking Action is a space where I can have these empowering conversations with my peers and women leaders.
Oh, thank you so much.
Snaps up for you. And last year, she wouldn't say a whisper, so she's come so far. I mean, good job, thank you.
Dr. Price, do you have any other young women or adults back there that would like to come up and make a statement or something?
Miss Shadow Rowland? Shadow is an alum.
Ms. Shadow, would you state your name for the your full name for the record, and then you may begin.
Yes, hi, my name is Shadow Rowland, and it's been a while since I've been in Girls in Action. It's Girls Taking Action Out, but I can testify to that. It definitely changed my life. I was one of those girls who had a bad attitude and just couldn't be told anything. And then Dr. Vernon Price walked into our school, Patrick Henry High, and my life changed after that. I'd never seen a college before then. I was always a girl with an attitude. And Dr. Price, she came into our school. She showed us women who look like us. I believe representation is very important. She showed us black women who came in, didn't take any stuff. And what I mean by that, when I say they didn't take any stuff, like, yes, I had an attitude, but they comforted me with love, and they gave me a chance to have a voice. I really didn't speak much. I had misplaced anger, and so they really helped me find out why I was angry, what I was angry for, and helped me put that energy into something else. And I can honestly say that I am a master. I graduated with a master's degree because of Dr. Vernon. And I can honestly say that I also was like a lonely child, so I can tell you that I had separation anxiety, and a lot of people was leaving me in my life, so I felt like that was why I was angry too. And Dr. Verna, she followed me all the way to college. She was like, she never gave up on me. She was like, you're getting this degree. I got you to college. This is, even times when I didn't believe in myself and I wanted to give up, Dr. Verna was like, no, like you got to college. You made it out of high school. Oh, we got you to college, and now you're gonna finish college. And I am proud to say that I have a master's degree because of her. So thank you.
Congratulations.
And she didn't tell you, but she works at Metro State University.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. We need a lot more educators and educators of color. Is there anyone else that would like to come up and testify? No?
Well, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah. Open the mic. Open mic
I'd
night.
like my mom.
Your
Or Miss
mom?
Penny, or Miss Penny. Miss Penny. Miss Penny is one of our board members,
Okay.
and she's awesome.
Is it Peggy? Okay, would you state your full name for the record, and then you can begin.
Yes, my name is Penny Houston, and I am a board member at Girls Taking Action, and I'm so excited to have this opportunity to talk to you. I just wanted to say that Girls Taking Action has changed my life, and I actually am a transplant from a different state, and I knew no one in Minnesota. So when I came here, I have always been in community service, and Dr. Verna Price's name comes out of nowhere. I reached out to this organization, and I was able to help put my own experience as an entrepreneur and as a professional, and help the girls and be a leader, an example and a leader for them, and give back to the community.
Well, I'm glad you made it to Minnesota.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms.
All right. I don't think you have any more testifiers, but maybe some of our, does anybody have a question? Senator Rarick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A quick verbal amendment that I would like to offer that I think will be seen as friendly. On line 1.2 in one case and on line 1.9 twice, that the word "in" be replaced with "taking," so that the bill reflects the new name of the group.
Just one thing, I also, Senator Rarick, we think a lot alike. I have it all over my paper, scratched out for taking, and then we would need to do that on line 1.20. And I'm not sure if this is your official legal.
It is.
It is. But maybe we can just refer to it as taking action. Okay. Unless you'd like to change that in your, as a friendly amendment.
Yeah, I would hope that the committee would accept that friendly amendment to change to girls taking action.
Team, what do you think? Should we accept that amendment? All in favor?
Aye.
Senator Kroon has a quick hand up.
I'm just wondering thank you, Madam Chair, if there's a legal name, if we changed it, if that's going to cause any issues, if the legal name is exactly how it is in the bill.
Madam Chair, just for clarity, their name used to be Girls in Action. Then they changed it to Girls Taking Action. My bill just doesn't reflect the change because I'm still stuck in the past.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Well, let's make sure our bill reflects the real name. And all those in favor of accepting Senator Rarick's friendly amendment to change anywhere it says Girls in Action to Girls Taking Action. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The amendment passes, and we now change it to Girls Taking Action. All right. One more question.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Before the alarm goes off.
And Senator Champion, you missed my earlier reference. My former time in the Jobs Committee, I cannot help but ask the question, what is the current annual budget that your group has, and where do those funds come from?
Absolutely. We're so lean. It's $703,111. And half of that comes from grants that are a combination of grants from state grants and kind of like bigger grants, I would say. And then the other half comes from individual and smaller foundations. That's kind of how we roll, and we just make it work.
Thank you. Follow up?
Yep. Thank you, Madam Chair. And then in the bill, I see you're looking to expand to, what was it? An additional 4 sites in the urban ring and 2 other community-based programs. Do you have an estimation as to like how many students that would incorporate? That
Sure.
expand to?
Madam Chair and Senator Rarick, a typical site has about 40 students in it, a typical sites, and so you're talking about another 160 or so students. And I would say that even though we say 4, it'll be more than 4, is what I'll tell you that, yes.
Any more questions? Staff, or, my goodness, members, any more questions? All right, final words. Thank you, Dr. Price, for bringing your girls taking action in with us, and the team that's supporting you as well. Senator Champion.
Final words, just as you can tell, it's a wonderful program, and you can see by the smiles on the faces of those who are behind me how deeply committed and attached they are to the great work that's being done by Girls Taking Action. You also saw a cross-section of girls come here, from those who are young in 8th grade and middle school and high school, and then you saw some a little more mature. I won't say what their ages are, but we are excited just to see how they work even intergenerationally in order to inspire and be the example. So thank you so much for taking the opportunity, and we hope that you will include this in your omnibus bill. Thank you so very much.
You bet. And thank you all for staying, late into 7:30, 8 o'clock into the night. Thank you so much. And with that, Senator Oumou Verbeten renews her motion to lay over Senate File 2722 for possible inclusion. Members, we have tomorrow morning, bright and early, we will be back in our seats for a few more bills, unless you are going to spend the night on your couch here at the Capitol. But if not, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:30, and we are adjourned.